Hi and welcome. My name is Maria, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to convert your e-commerce store into a fully functional, branded multi-vendor marketplace with MarketCube. In today's video, we will cover setting up marketplace terms, onboarding vendors, adding products, and fulfilling orders. The great thing is that with MarketCube you don't need any design or coding skills and you can get going very quickly. So let's get started. First thing first, you need to find MarketCube in a list of Shopify apps. Please note that MarketCube also integrates with majority of other major e-commerce engines, including Shopify, WooCommerce, and Hybris. We also provide a complete open APIs to integrate with custom-built e-commerce platforms and mobile apps. So if Shopify is not your platform of choice, do not worry, you can still watch this video and you can get in touch with us to work out how other integrations need to be set up. So once you find the app in Shopify App Store and you install it, for this tutorial I'm on a free version of the app. And in this version I can actually do everything that the marketplace operator would need to do to run a successful store. So before I jump into setting up my marketplace, I will just quickly show you around the dashboard. So dashboard is what you see by default once you actually install the app. Here I can explore the menu. As you can see, I can access orders, vendors, products, payments, automatic payouts, which means automated payments to your suppliers, and activity logs. Then I can easily access the help center or support site. On the right here, as you can see here, I can access reports. At the moment I don't have any orders or products, so that's why all the numbers equal to 0. Going back to setting up my marketplace. The first thing I need to do, because obviously I'm running a business, is I need to set up a marketplace commission. This is basically how much money you're going to be charging your suppliers on the orders that's coming through your marketplace. The commission can be either a percentage or a flat rate amount, and this would likely depend on the type of marketplace you want to run. For example, for a fashion retail marketplace, you're more likely to charge percentage on sales because probably the order amounts would be quite low. Whereas for a real estate marketplace, it would make more sense to charge a fixed amount. Otherwise, you might end up charging too much and it might not be very attractive for your suppliers. So for this tutorial, I'm setting up a swimwear store, as you can see here, called Beaches Collective. So I am going to set up a percentage on sales and I want to be charging 15%. Within the same section, I can also configure advanced commission settings, as you can see here. So advanced commission settings would allow you to set up a more complex commission structure. For example, if you want to charge different commission amounts based on category, vendor, product type, you can set this up here. It can also be a combination of, let's say, category and the vendor. Quite cool. So to keep things simple for this tutorial, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to submit, but feel free to play with this. Great. If you're in one of our paid plans, you would also be able to set up custom deductions within that section. For now, I'm just going to move on to setting up my marketplace terms. So marketplace terms are specifically returns and refunds. Together with commission settings, MarketCube uses these terms to calculate the amount and the timings for vendor payouts. So let me just show you what I mean. So I'm going to go here. Great. So first thing we need to do on this screen is we need to select whether our marketplace will accept returns, as this then determines when the vendors would get paid. So I'm going to say that returns are allowed, and I will follow standard practice and say that all of my customers have 28 days to return the products. Great. Second thing is payment terms. So payment terms is specifically actually when your vendors would get paid. There's a couple of options available here. So as you can see, the first one is pre-fulfillment. If you choose that option, that your vendors would get paid once they accept the order. So basically almost as soon as the order comes in and before they ship the product. Post-fulfillment is your vendors will get paid once they input tracking information. And post-returns period expiry is your vendors will get paid once the product's been shipped and also returns periods expired. Again, for these three, the type that you choose is likely to depend on the type of product you're selling in your marketplace. So for example, if you're selling a digital product where the links for download are available straight away and you don't offer returns, you can actually choose pre-fulfillment or post-fulfillment option, because there is no risk that the customer would be dissatisfied or the customer will not get their order. Whereas because I'm running a fashion store and I know that it's common in an industry to always offer returns, I want to protect myself as a marketplace operator, and actually want to say that I would only pay my vendors after the returns period expired. So I'm going to say post-returns expiry, and how many days do I want to give myself? So let's say 2 weeks, 14 days. So this would mean that actually my vendors would be paid almost, 6 weeks after order fulfillment. You can configure it to work with your marketplace type, so don't worry about that. And also important to know, at any point in the future, if you want to change any of these things, or if you find out that it doesn't work for your marketplace, you can always go back and change it. That's absolutely fine. So at that point, I'm going to hit submit. Alright, so once the marketplace terms have been set up and saved, I'm once again redirected to the dashboard. The next step would be for me to set up my payment service provider. We currently support Stripe and PayPal integrations, and then configure my marketplace branding. So this means adding my logo, changing colors, customizing my login screen, and doing stuff like that. For the purpose of this tutorial, I will be skipping both, but if you're interested in setting up either one of the two or both, please watch the tutorials linked in this video's description. So as you can see, there's multiple options available. Depending on whether you're just starting out your marketplace or you're already migrating from a different marketplace, you would probably choose a different functionality here. So if you're migrating from another marketplace, you can either create vendors using a form, or you can even bulk create vendors using a CSV. So if you go to, let me show you. So if you create vendors using a form, you can put all the information here. The difference between creating a vendor and inviting a vendor is that if you're creating a vendor, the system would automatically assume that you know all the details of this vendor you're inviting. You know all of their first name, last name, email, all their main credentials, and you're certain that the email address that you're inviting them to is their actual genuine email address. If you choose to invite a vendor instead, then what's going to happen is the system will trigger an invitation to be sent to that vendor, and then following the link from that invitation, they would then self-register and provide all their details and confirm their email address. So there's also bulk options available. You can see you can do bulk create vendors or bulk invite vendors. For both of these options, make sure you download a sample CSV first, and make sure that the file that you want to upload matches the format of a sample CSV. And then once you're ready, you would go here, choose a file, and submit it. Again, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to be inviting vendors to self-register using a form. The reason I'm doing it is because I want to show you the full process of how the invitation would work. So let me just do this, and with that, and I will invite myself, basically. I'm not going to change any information here, even though potentially you could change the subject line, you can change the body, but that works for me. Okay, so you see that my bulk vendor invitation is in progress. What does it mean? That means that the system sent out an invite, so you see it's updated just now. And once it says completed, it means that the invitation has been delivered to the recipient. In that case, the recipient is MarketCube admin. For me to be able to show you the actual invitation acceptance and registration, I would need to switch browser, or alternatively I could go into incognito mode in my current browser. Otherwise the system would get confused and it would see 2 requests coming into MarketCube, and it would try to log me in as a marketplace operator again. So I'm going to open a new browser. I can see there's an invitation here saying Maria has invited me to join. I'm going to click into that. My invitation, okay. I'm going to create password. if you are on one of our paid plans, you will have access to branding. So when you have access to branding, you can customize that page, meaning you can change the copy of it, you can change the logo, you can change the colors, and you can also change the URL. I'm on a free plan, so I don't have that functionality. Register. Registration is successful. At that point, if I go back to my marketplace operator dashboard, I go to setup. I can see that this action has now been ticked as completed. And I can also see that the number of vendors invited and vendors joined, it's been updated to 1. Great. Alright, so now I'm in my email, and I will also receive an email saying that invited supplier has joined MarketCube. So even if you're not tracking your dashboard, you would still be aware that supplier has joined. Great news. Now that that first step is completed, as a marketplace operator, I can add products, but I will actually go and add products as a vendor. So I'm switching back to my vendor view. I'm going back to the other browser I was using earlier. This is my vendor view. So now here I'm going to log in. Once the vendor logs in for the first time, they will need to add a bit more information about their brand. As you can see, their dashboard is very similar to your marketplace operator's dashboard. Again, they can access orders, products, payments, and activity logs from here. Important to note that they obviously would not be able to see order lines for other vendors, and they would not be able to see other vendors' products as well. So it would just be only their own order lines, their products, their payments, and their activity logs. They also got access to Help Center, and similar to you, they can contact support or request a feature. So I'm going to start with updating the profile. This is where I need to provide all the basic information. So now my vendor profile has been updated. At that point, I can add payment service provider. So again, this is to enable automated payments upon order fulfillment or post-order fulfillment, depending on what you've chosen as a marketplace operator. For the purpose of this tutorial, again, I'm going to skip that step, and I'm going to go straight into adding products. Okay, so as you can see, there's multiple ways to add products. So the first one is you can import products by connecting to a Shopify store. So if test vendor number 1, if I was already on Shopify, if my store was on Shopify, then I could have connected directly to that store. Because I don't have a Shopify store, I can add products manually, or I can bulk add them using a CSV form. So bulk add using a CSV form, the process is very similar to the previous CSV processes we've already spoken about, which is download a sample CSV, make sure that the data is in the same format as in the sample CSV, and upload it in. In this tutorial, I will add products using a form. Okay, so I've prepared some product information before. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it in. Okay, I'm going to add sunglasses. Great. Again, as you can see, you can change formatting here, similar to what Shopify allows you to do. Handle. This product identifier, please note it can't have spaces. So I can do this, _11. I need to add an image, and I am just going to add this one. It's obviously not a sunglasses image, but that's a test product, so let's say it will do. Great, now that that is done, we're going to add the rest of the product information in the product form, just like so. Here on the bottom, I can add variants. So for example, in this case, I could do small, medium, large. Great. And I get other options on top of this as well. So I can do black, white. And then this is where I can then change the details for each combination of both variants. For the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to keep things very simple. I'm not going to set up any variants. So I'm just going to leave this product as is and submit it. Okay, so now I am being redirected to the product page. and I can see the product I've just added. Cool. At this point, I also get an email. So let me just show it to you shortly. So, okay. So this is me being logged in as a marketplace operator in a different browser. And as you can see here, it says that this vendor has added the following product to be reviewed. And I can review product directly from the email, or I can actually go to my dashboard. And then now if I go to activity, I can see that there was a product that's been added to my store. I can also access it from the list of products here. Okay, it's a new product. I can take a look here. I can change something if I wanted to change it. Actually, I'm quite happy with the product the way it is. So at that point, I can choose to push it to Shopify store. Okay. So I would say yes, why not? So you can see the request is running in the background. It will be processed shortly. Okay, now the product is approved. At that point, if I go back to my vendor dashboard, and if I go to products, I can now see that the product is showing as approved. Moreover, as a vendor, I also get an email that confirms that my product's been approved. Right, that's great. So what the next step would be is for you as a marketplace operator to then sell the product as you normally would do it. Once the product's been approved and you've pushed it to your Shopify as a marketplace operator, you would then need to publish it as you would normally publish any product, which is not necessarily a marketplace product. And once it's published, then the customers can go and place orders for it. For this tutorial, I've already created a test order. So I've just gone into orders and I've created one directly. As you can see, once the order's been created, it's showing here in my activity dashboard. So it says order, new. If I then go into my inbox as a marketplace operator, I also get a notification that I got new order. As you can see here, there's two notifications. This is expected. One of these notifications, this one here, is triggered by Shopify. And the other one is triggered by MarketCube. So as a marketplace operator, you get two notifications. But then your vendor only receives notifications triggered by MarketCube. So this is me looking at this order as a vendor. And as you can see, I can see the product, the price, customer details. Great. So now as a marketplace vendor, if I go into my dashboard, I would also see here that I've got a new order. So I can go here. Okay. And at that point, I can accept or reject the order. So maybe if I'm on holiday or I don't have the stock and I didn't update my account, I can reject it. But of course, we don't want to think about these scenarios. So I'm going to say I would accept it. As a marketplace operator, you can accept the order as well on behalf of your vendors. So I'm going to accept this. Great, order line approved successfully. The order is accepted. So now if I switch back to my marketplace operator view, this is the email inbox for marketplace operator. I get a notification informing me that my vendor has accepted the order. Great. Now if I go back to the dashboard, I can also see that the order status has been changed to accepted here as well. So the next step would be fulfillment. For fulfillment, to demonstrate what it looks like, I'm going to switch back to vendor view. Alright, so as you can see, order says unfulfilled, but it's paid. So now as a vendor, let's say that I've actually dispatched the order with DHL. And this is my tracking number. I'm saving these tracking details. So at that point, the order is being marked as shipped. You can see the status changing here. And now again, if I go to my marketplace operator view, you can see that the order status has just changed to shipped. Great. The next step obviously would be to pay the vendor for the work that they've done, for the order that they fulfilled. Again, if you have your payment gateway set up, then the payment will trigger automatically when it needs to. I don't have it here, so I'm going to go into my payment section. And as you can see here, I can see the status being left as unpaid, all the information about the order, and is split between the seller commission, which is my marketplace operator's commission, and vendor commission. The due date here is November 23rd. This is calculated based on the settings that I've input earlier. Okay, and here I can generate an invoice or I can pay the vendor. When I'm going to click on pay the vendor, you can pay by Stripe, pay manually. I'm going to say pay manually. Okay. So I would need to do this in case I'm running my payments externally and not on the platform. So let's say if I was using a bank CSV payment system, or if I was paying cash on delivery, whatever the other option would be. And that's pretty much it. We've gone through the whole end-to-end process of setting up our marketplace. So let's just quickly recap on what have we done today. We've set up our marketplace commission. We've changed our terms. We then onboarded our first vendor. The vendor joined the marketplace. They've set up their own account and all their details. They've vetted the product. We've approved that product, published it, created an order for it, fulfilled that order, and just completed the payment flow. That's pretty much it. Any comments or questions, please get in touch with us. Thanks for your time, guys, and good luck.